Thank you for joining me again on a beautiful spring evening. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with the Vickers. I'm after work. I am looking forward to showing you what to do with 18-day compost. The raw compost that was in this bin, I've moved and put onto the next phases, and I just want to show you how you can bring that raw 18-day compost into matured grade A compost. Seriously, grade A compost, the best compost that you can use for any material. It won't be used until the autumn, but that's part of gardening where you plan ahead, and it's no cost, no money involved. It's just using waste. Great job. Right, and so here we go. Let's build this compost heap. I'm in a bit of a restricted space here, underneath the old apple tree, where I do the compost. It keeps the summer sun off the worms, so they can do their thing. Right, I'm loading in the 18-day compost into the compost bin, and what I'll be doing is I'll be layering green and the 18-day compost right through this bin. And what I'm trying to do is provide a good bulk of food right the way through the compost for the worms. So when I introduce the worms, they will travel down through the column, populate the entire heap, and work on the actual compost itself. And then that will sit there until needed in the autumn, and I'll be feeding from the top. You know, first of all, there's enough material in the actual compost itself and the greens that I've introduced. And after that, they'll only be feeding the top. So this will be the last time this compost will be moved until the autumn, until it's needed. So I rely heavily on the basic green soup, as it were, for the worms to be fed. I'm using any sort of weeds that I've got around the plot. I've purposely left some weeds so that they're nice and ready for this purpose. Some of them are wilted, but that's not intentional. And I've got some in the compost heap behind me, or behind the wheelbarrow, should I say. That is really quite far gone. It's the old field beans and that sort of thing. These. That's fine. It's all good worm food. Yeah, so we just layer these in right the way through the pile. Any greens can be used. The next load I'll be using on this video is a selection from the greenhouse and pot tunnel, crops, residue crops, weeds again. You know, it's any matter that will add to the fertility of the compost through the medium of worms. And this isn't very hard work. Oh, this is camphor, this particular weed. Now, just so you know, I am not chopping all the camphor down. I've got about quite a bit of it underneath the tree to the right hand side there, and I'm leaving in about 50% of it because it's a superb plant for nature. Bees and small insects absolutely love it, and it's of enormous value, especially since it flowers in the shade. So, yep, it's of great value. And sometimes things are of more value living than in the compost. I've taken off the top so I can show you the layers that are going through this. I'm a little bit concerned I haven't put enough greens in actually. We'll have to wait and see. Before I've always mixed it up. This time I'm leaving it in layers. I'm sure it won't make a difference. And this is my active worm finished compost. I'll take the lid off so you can see what's going on.
So all this lot is completely finished compost. Now I've actually neglected a little bit. It's in desperate need of a feed. Poor worms will be going on strike in a minute. But the basic idea is that you have a layer of kitchen scraps on top. You keep on feeding it from the top, never disturbing these layers. These layers are absolutely gorgeous. And all we do is put kitchen scraps of course tea bags. Gotta have tea bags, haven't you? I'll put some more leaves, green leaves in here in a minute, because what I want to do is create a nice layer that I can basically take off, slice off and put it into the bin that I've just made in a couple of weeks time, because at the moment that one's not ready. There's a chance this one that I've just done will heat up, and that's no good for the worms. So I'll let that one settle down, and then hopefully take a tight top slice of this one off, use this compost, because this is absolutely perfect. This is the best compost you'll possibly ever get, and use this on the vegetables. It's always worth topping a pile off with old carpet, because the worms absolutely love it. They love those damp conditions. They love the gaps between the carpet that they can get down into. And you'll find that they exist in this layer an awful lot. And there you have it. That's my worm finished compost.
This section of the video is just showing you, before I took the pile apart, how the edge facing the wood slatted sides with the air gaps has dried out very quickly. Not good for compost making. Whereas the side facing the plastic has stayed moist. This will help the pile enormously. Whereas the wood slats, I'm not a fan of wood slats, to be honest with you. Even though there's minimal air gap between the side and those, I think I'll probably put plastic over that one around the side. Now then, what I'm doing here is digging out the base of the compost. I made mention right the way back when I made this bay again, but I put in 6 inches of soil. Well, I put that in for this particular point in time because the soil that has sat underneath this compost heap will have been absolutely totally infused with microbiology and goodness, and it's worth taking at this stage and using for the tomatoes. Removing soil isn't generally a good thing in a no-dig system, but this was waste soil from when I moved the shed, and I've got more from when I moved the shed, so I can take this away using the tomatoes and put back more from the spoil heap into this area, so that basically I've got more soil for 12 months time again, and so the cycle goes on. I will be removing any last remains of compost from here because it's all excellent value, of course, and this will become absolutely brilliant soil for growing tomatoes in. Lovely jubbly. Thank you very much for joining me once again, and until next time, keep yourselves well, guys. Bye.